right, here we go. We are live. Let me just check some of the sources and make sure that we're live everywhere. I also need to double check that we are going live on Pump Fun as well. Just checking everything. Awesome. Looks like we got it. Let me just double check the sound. Audio loop. Perfect. Let me just get this going on the other platforms, and then we'll get started. There we go. Interesting. Okay. All right, I don't need to do that just because it's doing something weird. I don't know. I'm just gonna go live. There we are. All right. Sorry, I always get a little paranoid whenever I start going live on, because there's like sometimes no sound. I just want to make sure everything's good. And I'm also going to be going live on Pump Fun. That is where I launched a creator token over at Pump Fun not too long ago. Again, by the way, my name is Dunk. You can call Jonathan. And let me just check, make sure we're good on X. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Hearing the sound everywhere. Awesome. I was trying to also go live on Twitter, or not Twitter, on TikTok, but I still got to figure out a few things. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that it was working. Okay, awesome. So let's get started. And just a reminder, like if you do get value out of these live streams and what I'm talking about in these streams, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, hitting subscribe, and just ringing the bell, it really does help push these videos out to more people so they can learn more ways that they could really stop trading their time for money and start making money in DeFi, but do it passively. I'm very much all about passive income. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like some of the things like I do like a good trend. Don't get me, or not trend. Let me just pop this over to this other screen. And actually, before I go, I said that I was going live on Pump Fun. Let me make sure that I am actually doing what I said. Make sure I see everything. I'm gonna go grab that. Pump Fun. Leave me alone there. Yeah, Pump Fun. For some reason, it's being fickle with me on using Streamlabs at the same time. So I'm just going to go natively on Pump Fun, it's completely fine. There we go. So everybody can see me on Pump Fun. Come and hang out with me over there. You can trade my token while I am live. Assuming this actually, there it goes. Now we are connected, and we're also live on Pump Fun. Awesome. There we go. It still says connecting. All right, well, there he goes. That connected. Let me share my screen real quick with everybody there, and we're all on the same page. Perfect. There we go. All right, so we're live everywhere. I like to share this out to as many places as possible. That's the reason why I created a coin at Pump Fun. Just it was another place to help share out what I am learning about and what I'm doing in DeFi and how I'm making money passively. So there's a couple different ways that I wanted to go over today. But again, there are ways to do this a little bit more aggressively. But here, let me make sure that we are going. One second. Okay. There we go. Okay. So today I wanted to show you how to make passive income with DeFi, and really there's so many different ways that you could do this, but I really do like the ways that are truly passive, that, compound interest is like one of the most amazing things that you could think about when you are actually building generational wealth because it works for you in both ways. It could either work for you by charging you compound interest, or you could actually be using compound interest to actually grow your income, so you are basically having your money go work for you. And the thing I love about DeFi is that there are opportunities to grow your income at a higher rate than things like traditional banks, even if they're fairly passive or conservative. So again, my name is Dunk. I help you find ways to make passive income with DeFi, and I also show you some of the more degen ways, but I really do like to fine tune and focus on the passive ways, just because I don't want to be sitting in front of a computer. Any way that automates it, any way that makes it passive is what I really, really want to like focus in on when I am actually creating content, or not creating content, creating an income stream. So let's dive into a couple of these real quick. So let's start off with one of the ones that's, I call it a little bit more of a degen one. Let me just switch over to the correct wallet. There we go. And the reason why I say this is a degen one is because I basically made my money back on this one so far, and that's pretty much it. And it's addicted.fun, which it's a play to earn game. And in general, I'm mentioning this game right now, but there's a lot of things like play to earn games that you can use in Web3. So let me explain the idea behind this. It's like, so if you've ever played things like Farmville, I used to play Farmville pretty aggressively. I was pretty addicted to Farmville. I'll be perfectly honest. Hold on, it's not streaming my thing to Pump Fun right now. Let me just make sure. There we go. I don't know why I turned that off. Let me fix that on Pump Fun. There we go. It was weird. Okay, that's fixed. So why is it not? I don't know. It's not showing me the chat. It's okay. So like there was a Farmville when I was a kid, right? So Farmville was a fun game. We'd play the game, and we would build our farm. And I mean, if you don't, I could just bring up if for people that didn't grow up. I mean, I think that there is actually an app in the App Store that is similar, but I'm talking about the janky, like here. It was on Facebook. Everybody was addicted. I'm not the old, here. Let's just show some old farm. These are like newer ones. Like this is the way Farmville looked for me. Super. No, we don't need that. Super janky. But we were freaking all about this. I mean, like, I think that these are even newer ones, but it was such a simple game. You would just go farming, and you'd come back, and you'd plant your crops, and you'd have to come back at a certain time and harvest them, and then you'd earn points in the game, and you'd be able to go use those to build your farm bigger. And I mean, it's like think of it like SimCity. I was also a big like roller coaster tycoon person, and I love those little games. Like there's one where you like build like a zoo. I played all these games, like the Sims style games, but with something like this. So it launched, and the idea is like there's very much a Ponzi-nomics system for this type of game. And if you don't know what that means, it means that people that are buying in first get the best benefit. If you started right at the beginning, you probably had the best bet of having the most money out. So the idea is not necessarily just to the opportunity is really when the game comes out to really earn fast on it and get your money back, and then have a passive income source. And let me explain why. Because so I had to pay a little bit of Solana in order to join the game, and that's why I call it like a Ponzi-nomics type structure for this game, or any of these games. So you had to have a buy-in. And now that buy-in, I don't know exactly where that goes. I assume it goes to the creator of the game, and that's their money in their pocket. And then they're able to use it to either build up the ecosystem, or just pay themselves. Which either way, good for them. They built a game, and they're getting paid for their work. Even if it's like a simple game where somebody is farming weed in a virtual environment, which is completely fine. So the point is that you jump in, you get your money back. But now one thing is that there's a daily pool. So there's a certain amount of this token that's given out every single day. And look, there was just a halving where it makes it so the amount comes down every 7 days, or it cuts in half how much is distributed. So that's kind of the reason why I say it's like a Ponzi-nomics thing. So you have, if you get into these games, now maybe you missed this one, all good. There's a link in the description if you wanted to join it. It may be a little bit late to get your money back super quickly, but here's the reason why I feel like it's actually going to be the type of thing, like if not this game, similar ones. And we're talking about passive income. So you could join the game, and what I did is I took the Solana, I bought into the game, and then I bought, all what I bought was one set of booster packs. So I bought it was on sale for half price, and this is another reason why I say jump in earlier, because it was half the price of this. So I paid like $4.50 weed for that, which that's it was. I have to look at how much that was at the time, but it was. So I took a little bit of Solana, bought $4.50 weed, and bought into the game. That's all I did. And then if you come here now, you can see that I have like these 4 different packs. Now, if I wanted to increase this, I can go buy another pack, and maybe I get one of these ones that will generate the stuff faster, so on and so forth. It doesn't really matter. But so there's a lot of games like this, and the goal of these games isn't to get weed. It's not to get the actual token that you're doing. It's to take the token and farm it, and then you take that token that you farmed and come over here, and you come over to something like Jupiter, or you can go to Axiom, and you could say like one weed right now is 6 cents. So maybe I want to sell that weed. Like I can come over, I'll show you an example. So I have 23.03 weed. Now I can go claim this weed right now. I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I feel like the price is going to continuously go down over time until it balances out at some point. So if I'm going to get 22.17 after fees, hit confirm, and it's going to claim that weed. Super simple, right? Super duper simple. Okay. All right. There we go. Now it claimed the weed. There you go. So now I just claimed $1.51 in weed. And this is actually the point of the passive income part. Yes, it's going to go down. But if you have this, you get your initial money back, and now you have basically a faucet feeding you this token. Yeah, the token's going to go down in price over time and then hopefully hit a bottom, and then you'll have that token. Now, you could either sell it back to Solana, which is what I was just saying you could do. You can go, now I can come here, I claimed it, and if I want to refresh, I'm going to refresh this page, and now if I wanted to sell it, I would get $1.47 for the weed that I just claimed. Now, yesterday morning I claimed it, so now you're gonna be like, okay, maybe I got $1.47 passively. I got $1.47 passively from this, and now tomorrow maybe I get another $1.47. Maybe it's gone down a little bit. I get $1. Maybe over time it's just a couple cents a day. But the point is that now I have a faucet that's feeding me this coin for free, and at whatever rate it's distributing, the faucet goes much faster right when the game launches, and then it goes down and it becomes a more sustainable thing. So people farmed it, and now once it balances out, people will still play the game. Maybe they have to lower their entry price when it starts. Maybe it's not as high of amount, and they get in and the game stays sustainable. And there's ways that these people are making passive income, and I'm going to get into that in a second on what you could do. But now I'm just going to show you. I could sell this right now. Let me open up this so you could actually see. Open up my wallet here so you could see what I'm doing. So see, I got the weed in my wallet. It's $1.50 something. It cuts off on the side. I hate how that cuts off. But it's like $1.50 right there. And and after fees, this says that there's like a 2% pool that they have, and that's kind of like, I'm gonna get into this in a minute, but that's actually like when you create these pools over at something like Radium. Like, I'm not even sure if it is at Radium, but we can go to liquidity. Why don't we search for weed actually real quick, see if it is here. Yeah, I don't see it here, so it must be a different. I could actually do one better and do it the smart way, and I'm gonna grab the contract instead of just searching for a random thing, and I could just paste the contract, and if it's there, see, it's not actually, oh, there it is right there. So I could search for that, and we could see that one way that they're making passive income, and I'm going to get into this next, right after I finish talking about weed, is that they created a liquidity pool. So this person, they have a liquidity pool that is, this one's a 4% liquidity pool, and this one is these two, they both are for weed, but this one's a 2% liquidity pool, and this is actually set up with another token, PBP, but you could set it up with whatever you want, but they have a pool that is 2% with Solana, and so that means that's the reason why when you're selling it here, it actually shows less than it's over here, because it's going to charge you that fee. So you have to think about that whenever you're doing that. So I'm actually not going to hit, there's a lot of sells right now, so this is not the best time to sell. What I usually will do, if I want to find out the best time to sell, I'll just come over here and I'll use a tool called Stacker Agent GPT. There is actually a new version that was just released, Stacker Agent. This one has a couple ways that you can get access to it. It's in a early private beta right now, so just keep that in mind, and it's actually going to trade these things autonomously. And right now the first one is a mass extract one, which looks for things like maybe it's a pump fund token that launched and it shoots up. So again, I'm getting a little off track right here, but I come over here, I say analyze this token, analyze this, I don't know what it is, I just never know how to spell analyze. Help me find the best price to sell short. I want to sell short term. Short term. There we go. So now I have passive tokens being given to me. I didn't do anything over the last, whatever time since the last time I checked in with Addicted. I haven't farmed anything. I haven't added any more, whatevers. It's just what it is. So now breakdown. Okay, game. Snapshot. Current price 6 cents. Almost 7. Strongly negative on all time frames. Yep. So early position. Current 15% below the 4-hour zone. The sell pressure has peaked in the last 24 hours. So current price, support zone. It's not giving me a clear. What price should I sell at? And now it's analyzed the chart, and I could do that, and I could look at all the charts myself manually, but we're talking about passive. It's also passive in thinking. I don't want to be thinking about this all the time, right? None of us want to be thinking about this stuff all the time. So, sell strategy, it's trying to give me multiples, but basically 6.7 to 6.8, and then I can come here, and if I really don't care, I could always just look it. I could just see where there's going to be a bounce back up. Here I could actually show an actual price instead of market cap. Well, look, 6.7. Remember it said 6.7, 6.8 not too long ago. These are 1 minute charts. That was, I don't know, that was just a little bit ago. It was sitting at about 7. So the idea would be, okay, maybe I can get it back to 7 cents. So I'm not going to do the trigger, but say I wanted it. There we go. If I right now the price, it would be like $1.51 if I did it for the trigger, but maybe I wanted to wait until it got to 7 cents. I get an extra 4 cents out of that deal. So if I wanted to wait and actually get the better price. Now, I know that seems 4 cents doesn't seem like that much, but now I use this to help me analyze, find a price that I could actually wait for. For some reason with this token, it's not letting me put in a trigger or a limit order. But, if you could easily just do it here, wait until the price pumps a little bit, and when you see it hitting up here, you're just watching the charts, you just hit that, and you hit the sell button. If you want it to be in Solana, you could always do that. Solana, it's still in that price, and you could now just give you Solana, $1.46 in Solana instead of in USDC. Whatever you want. It's, however you need to do it. It's all good. Cool. So that's basically how you would make passive income playing these games. Now, there's other games that are like this that are constantly coming out. Just jump on them. Look, I've almost got 0.1 more, and that's, keeps on adding. It's going to give me about 18.37 every single day. And even if at some point it's just giving me part of one or whatever, maybe that token gets to a couple bucks and I'm getting a couple bucks a day. That's passive income from that token that then I could either use in this game to compound it, or I could cash it out and put it, back in my pocket. Cash it out and put it in my pocket in USDC or Solana or whatever token I'm bullish on. Like, I have several tokens, like Gary I'm really bullish on. Drafish is a community token, actually, that like a culture token in that same community. So there's so many different things that you could do. So, okay. So that is like the first thing I wanted to go over, which is, again, play to earn games. Such a great way to actually start making money in DeFi passively. Now, the second thing I wanted to go over was what we were talking about before, was liquidity pools. And the reason why I like liquidity pools is because liquidity pools are basically you put money into a pot. And if you don't understand how liquidity pools are so important with actual DeFi, decentralized finance. So if you are actually, if you're actually doing this like as a way to actually make money in DeFi and actually be part of the ecosystem, this is so important to have something like understand liquidity pools, because you could think of liquidity pools like this. So when you have like a Coinbase, a centralized exchange, they put them all in the random wallets, and then your money is basically no different than if you have your money in a bank. They just put how much crypto you have on your website, and it's not actually in your wallet. But when you go to decentralized exchanges and decentralized finance, DeFi, it actually separates everything into your own wallet. You hold the keys. Like, you could use something like Phantom is a great Solana solution. They actually have quite a few. It's not just Solana anymore with Phantom. But they have, and look, they even have Phantom Card. They're really just like integrating everything. So you really could just keep all your money on chain. And that's really the direction everything is going. Better interest. And I'm going to get into that actually in a second too. But you get, Phantom is my number one choice for Solana. And they also support several other blockchains. But say you wanted to, and again, there's other platforms as well for liquidity pools on different blockchains. But for Solana, a great one is Radium. And I could look at all sorts of different liquidity pools. So I can go to like liquidity, and you can see right here, there's all these different ones. Solana USDC. They're in this particular pool. There is $17,000, $789,322 in liquidity. That means that's how much liquidity is actually in that pool, and that's combining both sides. But it pays 0.04%. And that may seem really small, but there's people constantly trading Solana for USDC all freaking day. So the average APR, like how much this pool is actually going to make in a year, is averaging about 96.92%. And it's, now you got to keep an eye if the prices are going to pump or dump, because if the way that these pools work is you have something on each side. So if you have Solana on each side, on one side, and USDC on one side. So if the price of Solana is going up, that means people are buying the Solana and putting USDC on the other side. And when that price, eventually the price is going to go up high enough that you've basically sold all of your Solana for USDC as the price rises. And it can go the other direction. Maybe Solana's crashing, and they're selling you the Solana, and you're basically buying it from people on the way down. So, but every time that you buy or sell, you're taking a little fee, and that's why it's passive. That you have liquidity pools where you're actually earning part of these transaction fees, and this is the reason why this is what really makes it decentralized finance, is that you become the bank when you open one of these pools, and you become the person that initiates. You're the market maker, and you're going to be able to have this trade, and your fee, because think of it more like you have a business, and you have I am offering a service in order to do this. My business is being a middleman between two currencies that people want to trade. But because of things like Radium, automatic market makers, you get to put it in there and let anybody just do it whenever they want, and you just collect the fee. It's as simple as that. And like anybody could do it. Like we have Gary Coin, which is a token that is, let me just search for it real quick. Gary, which is a token that is a community token that I'm heavily involved with. It's great. It's been pumping really nicely because we have, with the Stacker Agent, which I was talking about here, they actually are, their fees go back to buying back Gary Coin, which is huge. So this, you see like these spikes, people buying it, like buying back with the fees, and you know they've had like 100 and change in their test, 100 and change thousand in the test, and so it's, you know, they're already buying a couple Solanas worth, and then that goes into their bank. Again, not the point of this, but those are the ones that I'm bullish on. So, but in that case, say you have the pool and everybody's buying Gary Coin and you're selling it for Solana, you might get liquidated. That's the risk. But look at this. So I can go here, liquidity. Let me search. Oh, over here. Right here in front of my face. So now I could search for it, and you see there's a bunch of different pools, actually. Like even one that I had right there, I had a coin that I paired to it at one time. I still got $9 of liquidity in there. Look at that. But you see, I was charging 1% fee. Here's another one, a pool that's a 4% fee, but the price shifted. That was only from 25 cents up. You could actually set concentrated pools, which only trade between 2 points. Or you could be kind of a standard pool, which is you get less fees from it, but it's much broader. So any token, you can go create a token, and if you drive energy to it, you could actually create a bunch of the fees. So that was kind of like the point that I was making about weed. They could very well be, you know, even as the token is going down in value, if you have a token like this, you can go and open up a liquidity pool, buy some of the tokens and create the liquidity pool, and as people are trading it, then you actually will get the fees, but you're risking the price crashing, and that's kind of like part of the game, the non-passive part of the game. But liquidity pools are a really easy way for you to make passive income just by finding the ones that are going to work. And if you're worried about it, like we were looking at the ones that they have right here for liquidity, there we go, like simple ones. Yeah, this one might be a little bit more of a gamble, right? But if you recognize what some of them are, like Solana USDC, that's an easy one. If you want to make 46% pretty casually, and let me show you. This is actually a USDT. Look at this. Here is 2 stable coins. Now, USD has a bunch of different stable coins, and what that means is that it's just a cryptocurrency that is backed by US dollars or whatever the stable coin is there. But if, say, you have 2 stable coins, now the only risk that you're running when you're pairing these 2 together, that you're going to lose money, is that one of them, you know, fails. Like if you think, oh man, that stable coin that launched last month, it's going to fail. Well, there's always that chance. There always is. So, and part of why like something like this seems like a little crazy. Somebody made up a token, it looks like, which is not a real stable coin, and just called it USDU, I think. Pretty sure. But something like this. So we can go to USDC and USDT. Well-known tokens. So if you have your money sitting in the bank, like in the bank, in US Bank or whatever, you're going to be making a fraction of a penny a year just sitting in there. But what you could do is you can come here to USDC. Boom. If I can get it to open. There we go, to pop. You come to like USDC, and you would provide a range. It's not going to fluctuate. See? It's not going to fluctuate because they're both stable tokens. Now, it showed you the average that you're going to make during the year. Again, that could fluctuate. For this one, where is it? USDC to USDT, 7%, 7.2. Now that's much better than any bank. Now, there's other things you may be able to do, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute, that you might be able to even make more than that. But this is a very secure, stable way for you to take the money that you have that would be just sitting in your bank and not earning anything, and then you can go and take it and drop it into like in here and just let it sit here and earn interest. And whenever you feel like it, there's no timetable, just pull out whatever liquidity you need, and then actually you could use things like Cast, which is and we were also just saying that Phantom was adding one too, which I'm going to look deeper into now that I saw that they were launching that. Cast, you can get this at mydeficard.com, and it is a Visa card where you just could take like USDC, drop it into that wallet, and then it spends like cash. So now you don't need to keep your money in the bank. You could keep it on chain, where it's earning you interest constantly, earning you more yield passively, and then you could maybe at some point you're just grabbing the interest and dropping it in your Cast card, and then you just live like now you're living off the interest, and it's stable. But compounding is a huge part of this. But these are super simple options, super conservative. I mean, some of them, like, I don't know what USDG is, so that might not be that didn't get as much because I don't know. But if you go look into each pair, but I know, like, that's why I used USDC and USDT as an example, that something that I actually trust, something that I know. I know that those are two good ones. But, when you're using two stable coins, it doesn't really affect something called impermanent loss, which is an important part of it. So, okay. So, yeah, liquidity pools. And there are concentrated ones, which means that you're just doing a small range, and then standard pools, which means that you're just covering the whole spectrum, and you typically get less fees with them. But, like, here's USDC, USDT, but like that's a standard pool that gets you 1%. But a concentrated pool right here for the same thing, which there's no reason why you wouldn't want to have a concentrated pool for a stable coin that's paired with another stable coin, because the price shouldn't change at all. Cool. All right, so just look more into that. That is actually a great way because it all ties together. Remember, we were talking about, like, here's the weed. You could take that, and then maybe you take your profits from this and just keep on compounding it into something like this. Now you're earning interest, and you're growing this, and now you have two different ways that you're making passive income. Yeah, so, and yeah, I think that it's always a great way to do this. So, okay, what's the next thing I wanted to talk about? Now, I know we've been talking a lot about kind of like the real passive ways. Like, one way that I've made some passive income, and I'm continuously making some now, is actually using Pump Fun. Now, Pump.fun it's been a great platform for me so far. I've really enjoyed using it. I'm actually live on it right now, and that's the reason I launched my token. And so when I launched on Pump Fun, I can just go to my actual token. When I launched on Pump Fun, my theory, by the way, when I'm actually is that the way to actually be successful. Oh, let me just mute myself. I have a loop. My theory is on, like, with Pump Fun, is that if you get a little bit of a, like, let's see. Ooh, look, Launch Hunter, link in bio. Oh, go away, Launch Hunter. Okay, cool. You see this? So now I have this token. It shot up, and then it eventually simmered out, which is completely fine. And I'm just able to live stream here and actually just share my results. We got Jilly right here, GM Jilly, GM Jilly. Let's see. I'm not logged in right now. I gotta do it again. In this browser. But it's a simple. So what I did is I launched it, and my theory with this particular one was that the price actually, I was able to get about $1,100 in actual creator fees during the launch, or about $1,000 in creator fees in the launch, and then over the next week it trickled in about another $100, and it's kind of doing the same thing, a couple bucks a day here and there. People are trading the charts, and I really don't know what's going to happen with it. I just did it because I wanted to stream on Pump Fun. Because I'm talking about crypto, and I want to be able to share what I'm talking about with crypto anywhere that people are talking about crypto, and I know that Pump Fund is one of those places. So so what it did is it pumped up when people bought. I bought a little bit. See, Dev bought. Some other people bought. I bought a little bit extra, and I was burning some as well. And I paid the Dex tool fee over at Dex Screener. And I really did just put it into this token because I'm just going to continue streaming on it. There's no reason not to. I've enjoyed it, but the point is that I was able to launch a token. I told my friends about it, people that I know, the draft community which I'm involved with, and they came and they bought. And what that does is it attracts a bunch of energy right out of the gate, and then it pumps up. You get your fees. Some people are able to trade the chart, make some money off of it here and there, so on. But then eventually, it seems like with the nature of Pump Fund is they keep on rotating the liquidity into the next opportunity. They don't want to just they're not buying it. You're going to get your super fans that you get off the platform that then you could bring on here and say, hey, come over and hang out. And maybe their trading volume attracts some additional activity with it, which is awesome. So, I mean, it has been dipping. It's completely fine, though. I'm not worried about it, but it made me money is my point, and it's still consistent. People are still trading the chart passively, and it's making me a little bit of money passively. And here, let me actually show you another one of the tokens. See, this is I was just experimenting with this one, and I wanted to see what would happen if I launched one without any liquidity backing it. And I just streamed myself playing a game, and it actually went really well. And to my point is this actually, it made me like $10, something like that in creator fees. And I was just playing the game, and some people traded the charts. Let me actually go to the 1 minute chart so you can see the people actually were trading the charts. People bought, shot up, somebody else bought, and I ended up making a little bit of money just launching it. But my point being is that I didn't do any promotion for that one. There was zero promotion. So, there we go. Yeah, zero promotion for that. Let me mute that again. There was zero promotion for that one, so it didn't actually end up making me any real money from it but this one, I promoted it, and it attracted the people that came in and bought. They won. They got their earliest thing. I let them know, hey, I'm going to be launching it this time. And then other people like bots and snipers and other people came in and bought. And I was able to make some passive income or some income that day. And it's been passive ever since. So I do these streams, and I just really do like it as a way to earn passive income. Because even when I haven't been streaming, still earning some income when people are trading the charts because I get a percentage of the fee. It's as far as the streaming part, obviously that's not passive, but you don't have to do it. This is Pump Fund. You don't have to be streaming, but it's just an option. So this is just another way that you could be making passive income with DeFi, and it's super simple. So I think it's great. So, okay. So now we've gone over so far 3 different ways that you can make passive income with DeFi today. One of them is play to earn games like addicted.fun. There's going to be other ones that come out. And again, it's solely, I think that the key to this is getting early, and then you have kind of like a faucet of their tokens coming out that then you could sell or trade or do whatever you want. But I would say sell until they find a local bottom, and then it balances out, and then you could buy back in. And maybe it becomes, but now you have a faucet where you're getting these tokens for free at whatever price it is, and maybe those tokens pump, and now you have a faucet feeding you free tokens every single day because you were able to collect them passively because you started the game. But I think that the cheapest way to get into these games is right at the beginning. Then we talked about what was it? We talked about liquidity pools, or things like over at Radium. And then we talked about, launching a streamer token at something like pump.fun. And there's other ones as well, but I do like pump.fun. Now, the third one that I wanted to talk about, let me actually make sure that this is, 1 second. My wallet locked. Just need to unlock my wallet. There we go. Always have locks on your wallets. It's better to keep on unlocking it than somebody else wander in and have their way with your wallet. Okay. All right. So the next one that I wanted to go into was actually one called Sharky.fi or Sharky.fi. And the reason why I'm talking about this one is this is a way that you could passively earn an interest on your crypto just by lending out your like Solana. In this case, it would be Solana. And I did notice, I haven't really looked too deep into it, but they also have a new feature where you could actually lend out tokens that are like actual tokens, which I haven't even looked too deeply into that myself yet. I'm gonna have to dive deeper into it. But yeah, it's something like lend out a token if somebody wants to borrow it for whatever reason. They'd have to have a reason. I mean, you could borrow Apple stock right there. See, there you go. I mean, people are actually lending it. 75%. Cool. But my point is with the NFTs. So I will use an example. I'm like really bullish on Draft Tower. So I have a whole bunch of those NFTs, and I'd be happy to collect more, especially if they are discounted. I'm always looking for a good deal. So I'm going to connect my wallet real quick. There we go. All right. So I connected my wallet. Sharky points. This isn't my main wallet, so I don't have all my points on this one. I'm just showing you. But all what you would do is you come over here to where it says NFT. So I'm going to say lend. So I want to lend crypto in order to, but you don't just want to trust somebody. Like, oh gosh, what happens when you lend some money to somebody and they ghost on you? That's, it's not going to be the best way. But, and by the way, if you do get value out of these, I just wanted to remind you guys, I do have a resource at DeFiEarner.com to help you find the 7 simple steps to turn crypto into daily passive income. So go grab that there. It's completely free. I just wanted to remind you that that's there. It's at DeFiEarner.com. Cool. So back over to Sharky. There's a whole bunch of things like you have any of these Mad Lads. Like, obviously those have a higher floor. But look right here. If you have, like, a lot of these are 180%. So as an asset becomes more expensive, say you lend out 30 Solana right there, and they give you the Mad Lad NFT as collateral. If they default on it, like, let's see what their floor. See, there's a good example. Their floor is 33, and people are willing to take 31.78 Solana. And what would happen is if they ever defaulted on it, like meaning they didn't pay back the 31.78, they're gonna, you'd have to pay the interest on it. But if they defaulted on it, you just keep the NFT, and then you'd be able to go somewhere like Magic Eden or one of the marketplaces, and then you could sell it. I'll give you here's a good example. I'm just gonna go to Magic Eden real quick just to give you an example of what I mean and why I would or wouldn't do one of these offers. So I'm gonna Mad Lads. Mad. See, actually, their floor price is inaccurate because, well, this is actually it's going to show you the price. This is including fees. The other price is not including fees. So if I went here right now, instant sell 31.23. So I could instantly sell one. So I can come back over here to Sharky 31.23. So instantly I can get my money back. But if I listed it for the floor price, which is 33, I'd be able to instantly swoop in and grab an additional 2 Solana, which is about $225 right now, an extra $450 in the middle, because I sold it at the cheapest price Mad Labs were listed. Now, other ones you could say, like, I'm bullish on Draft Tower. So you could see Draft Tower's right here. I hit lend. Draft Tower has, let's go take a look at theirs. Draft Tower. So Draft Tower, after fees, has a floor of 1.47. And then they have instant sell of 1.7. So I could say 1.47 minus its 10% or 12% fees after it's all said and done. So then it would be like let's call it 1.2 something. I'm not going to do the math right now in my head. but say you're able to list this, you'll get interest. So like if I said 1, total interest would be 0.02. So I wanted to make an offer to do 1 0.0. That's how much total interest that I'd actually list. So I will take 1 NFT for whatever price. There you go. So amount I want to offer, or sorry, this let me rephrase. Amount of offer. So 0.0. Say I wanted that to be the amount. I'd get 0.02 if they took this offer. If I said that I was willing to do like 0.1, I get 0.021, which that's in Solana. So if they chose not to pay it back, all what I would need to do is I would need to, and if you do math, by the way, hold on, I gotta sneeze. It happened, everyone. So roughly that's 0.5% a day. So if you think about it, 0.5% a day, and if they default on it, then you would just take this NFT that you paid, in this case 1.1. So if I'd said 1.1, now I can go and take the NFT that I paid 1.1 for. They didn't pay. I don't get the interest because they didn't pay it back. Oh well. But it's a 1.1 NFT. I'd sell it even if I sold it like list price right there. So it's 1.319 is the lowest list price. So if I sold that 1.1 and I'd end up getting 2.18 compared to the floor. So if I decided to sell at the floor, so 0.218 was that sold to USDs. Let's use this one. Come on, Coinbase. There we go. What was my math? Everyone? There we go. So let's do this again. So 0.218 would be in that scenario. So 0.218. So in that scenario, in that flip, I would have actually made about $48.73 in interest passively if they defaulted on it. Now, if they didn't default on it, and so my point is, like, I don't care if they default on it. So the difference would be 0.21. So if they don't default on it, I would make $4.69. So either way, I give them the Solana. A week later, I get my Solana back, or I get an asset that's worth $50 more than I paid or that I lent out for. And I would just make sure that there's enough of a gap between the price that you're listing at and then the price that you're willing to like the floor price and the price that you're willing to lend it out for. But yeah, there's a lot of things here. You could also come over here to offers, obviously, and you could make an offer here, but then there's also borrow. You could borrow against these things. Say you have, like we were talking about, Draft Tower. I'm just going to use that same example. I could actually borrow here. Is this one? Is that interest? There you go. So now you're actually earning 2.49 interest. Best offer. There you go. So you could actually lend. I don't have any of that asset in this particular wallet I'm connected to, but if I did, I'd be able to click it, upload that as collateral, and then, or use it as collateral to take a loan if there's somebody offering on the other side. But again, right now, if you're trying to make passive income, it would be lending out your Solana and using it as collateral. And if somebody defaults, you can go and sell it. It's simple as that. All right. So now we've gone over 4 different ways that you can make passive income with DeFi super easily. And again, just as a reminder, if you get value from these, like, subscribe, ring the bell. My name is Dunk. I love showing you how I am making passive income with DeFi. I do some degen stuff too, but I always like to have the passive stuff because you never know if there's going to be some time that you actually want to put the brakes on and just take a break. We don't want to be working the rest of our lives. We want passive income, right? That's what I want. If you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. VFAT? No, I haven't used VFAT. Luna Classic? I haven't. Need to look into it. VFAT. I haven't, but I'll go check. I'll check into it. I'll look into it. Portfolio manager. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Cool. So for the next one, the fifth thing that I wanted to go over was actually there is an AI agent. Remember, I was talking about Stacker Agent earlier. Stacker Agent is how we checked. This is a Stacker GPT. We use the GPT completely free. You can go and grab the GPT again, 100% free. Go ahead and grab it. But there is an autonomous version that is in an early private beta right now. Now, if you want that, here, let me actually find let me give you the actual way to get access to it right now, because it is in an early beta. So, but it was just released the other day. So remember, it is a degen thing if you are diving into it. Is this the right one? No. Give me 1 second to find it. I think I had it posted on mine, but it's all good. I had it on my account. I retweeted it. Hey, look, and there I am, live. Look, I am. Agent. Here it is. Okay. Stress. Was this the one? No. Give me. Here it is. So there's 3 ways that you can get access to this, actually. There's a thing called Stacker, which is you can look for Gary Club Stacker, which is just an asset that gives you access right away. And it also will give you a discount on fees when the public one goes out. Own a draft, which is I was showing you here, and 1,000 Gary coin, which is, I think it was the token I showed you here. Here. Is this one? I don't even know. It's just Gary coin. And you have to have the combination of those, or you could have like 25 of the assets in that community, which is like the draft assets. And then there's also another token called Draftish. You could have 10 million of those. That's a pump fund token. So that's just how you get access to it right now in the private beta. It's just in testing phases, so just keep that in mind. But what you're able to do is actually come in here and create. See, I had this one here. It was realizing some gains right here. It trades. Let's just go into this test just to show you. There's wins, losses, trading history, so it trades automatically for you. There's some wins, there's some losses. I actually had more than that here. See? And it ended up coming out making me 5%, which there was higher wins than that, but you know, you what happens, and there's some wins, there's some loses. And it is early, so just keep that in mind. It is an early public private beta. So let me just walk you through a couple things and how I would actually go about. Go back here. Go back to my wallet. Make sure I'm logged in the right wallet. Come on. Boom. There we go. And again, if you don't have access in that, you have to make sure that you have access in your wallet. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So there's a couple different things that you could have here. So let me just walk you through how this works. So you come to this page and you can kind of create a new agent, and you can create as many agents as you like. These are the ones that are coming soon. The only one in this private beta that's activated right now is Mass Extract, which tries to get during launches big spikes and pull as much out as possible. Then there's also Block Zero, which means that you're going to be the first person that buys. And, you know, that's just a gamble, really. You're just buying all of them and you see which one hits. There's scalp trading, swing trading, and then lock-in, where you pick a token that you believe is going to go up, and it tries to buy and sell, and you're locking in on that one token. So I'm just going to click mass extract, and I'm going to go to the next one, and it brings you up to this page. And this page is how you just dial in all of your settings. Now, what I would do is I would take maybe a screenshot of this. So I'm going to take like a screenshot. Boom, took a screenshot, and I'm going to save that. And I'm going to save that to my computer. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to start a new chat with Stacker GPT. And then I would do something like, I would take this, yeah. There we go. And I'm just going to grab that screenshot, drop it into ChatGPT or Stacker GPT. And I'd say something like, I want to set up a mass extract agent in Stacker Agent. Help me pick my settings and understand why I am picking them. Please explain everything to me like I am a beginner. There you go. And you might need to fine tune your prompt or whatever, but now I gave it the settings, and I'm boom. It knows what I want, what I need, and like if you do get into that private, the private beta, then there's going to be like other ways that you can test it, or like people that are testing, and you could talk to them and see what's working, and that's really the idea of why there's a private beta. So position 0.01 fixed. So I agree with this recommendation, 0.01 to 0.25. And the reason why is because there's fees that come into play when you're doing this. And, you know, it's just the cost of actually doing the trade. So if you're trading with like 0.05 or something like that, and it's small, then you're going to eat up all of your winnings, or your everything that you made, just paying fees. So you want to have a little bit more of a buffer. Then we have market cap. There's a lot of bot filter coins by total market cap setting 500 to 600. That's, you know, low caps under 250 are risky, often rugs and dead coins. I mean, they might pump up, boom, and then die out. Mid caps 500,000 to $1 million are ideal for fresh, active meme coins with real liquidity. Start with 500K for balance, not enough to moon, big enough to trade safely. So let's just go over there. So let's start putting this stuff. So it's saying 0.1 to 0.25. So if I went to this, let's call it 0.25. And now it was saying for our market cap. Let me drag this over to my market cap. It was saying 500 to 600K, right? So now let's go over here. Market cap. That's what I actually have in here right now, but that was just a default. We could change that if we want to. But again, 500, 600 market cap, it recommends. So age, settings 0 to 12. So you could say 0 to 12, and I've seen other people say, you know, and if you ever think like, you could ask a question if you don't understand. Is 24 hours too long for age? Excellent question. This shows you're thinking like a true Stacker Agent operator. Da-da. So the risk actually goes down as he gets older. So I'm actually going to probably switch this to 24. Now let's go over to the next one. Go back over here. Take profit. So again, this is really going to depend on like how degen, what you're, so you could just really figure this out. You're gonna have to find this out. I would, best. Just play around with what you're asking it. But we also consider covering all fees. That's one thing I need to make sure it understands to cover all the fees. Yeah, now I'm thinking like a stacker. At least that, I'd say much more like 30% round trip. I'll explain that in a second why. So let's just say it's saying 30% round trip. So take profit, let's call it 30%. And now you could say like the stop loss could be like 8%. And you're just going to figure that, again, talk to the AI agent, talk to the bot, and it's going to figure that out for you. Just have the conversation. I'm not going to be able to do it all right here live. I'm just saying that just have a conversation with the bot. If there's something you don't understand, just ask. So then you could say like, what about this trailing stop loss and what was it? Callback. There we go. Trailing stop loss, 1. And I've seen other people doing much higher amounts. Size, 30-minute round trip. And you can get that, or you can leave it blank, whichever one you feel. If you leave it blank, it's completely fine. Now, cooldown actually is like if I wanted to say leave empty if it's cooldown. So it would be like I want to wait 90 seconds in between each cooldown. It's all in seconds. And that would mean that you wouldn't just jump into the next trade immediately. Or then there's concurrent. If you leave it blank, you can do as many, but maybe you want no more than 5 trades at once. And then slippage. And this is part of the reason why I was shooting for a higher take profit, because slippage is 30%, meaning that it could shift in either direction up to 30%. And I might get less tokens, or I might get more. And then there's priority fees, and I know it's defaulted at 0.0007, but most people that I've been seeing, they've been actually putting it at 0.05. And same thing with tips. And if you don't know what a tip is, it just means that you're actually going to be more likely to actually create your land your transaction. So now you have this all set up. Again, don't copy what I'm doing right here. I am just showing you chat with the bot, fine-tune this until it's exactly right. It's going to be different for your strategy than mine. Test things with smaller amounts, see if it's working, and then dive in. Look at what other people are doing, and then dive in. But then you go to next. It's going to give you an overview of everything you have. Blah, blah, 30%, 8% stop loss, 30% take profit. Whatever. If you're happy with this, now you're going to click Publish Agent. There we go. And it is going to add it to this sidebar right here. Refresh. Publish Agent. Once it refreshes. And actually, it opened it up. So here's this wallet right here. If you click that, then you can go to Phantom or wherever, and you could fund this wallet. If you want, you can go to, come on. You can go back over here to your main page where it shows all of them. See, it's turned on. If I ever wanted to, I just create it, turn it back on. If I wanted to, I could come here and you can go to any of these. You could deposit here. It'll give you the wallet address. You could also withdraw from this one. You could put in from which agent you're sending it from, and then what destination and amount of Solana. Then you could also consolidate, and the reason I like, you could take it from like one wallet and then send it to another agent, so you don't just have a bunch of like dust sitting around. Then you could have distribute, and this will be a way that you could distribute to multiple agents. Maybe you have one performing really well. And then there's also buy Sol. You say you don't have any Solana, you don't want to go use Coinbase, you can click here, and it's going to pop up Stripe, which is a Stripe. There it goes, a little crypto link, crypto.com link. There you go. So you could instantly buy crypto if it ever loads. Like it says fast and secure, and it's taking forever to load the page. There you go. So if I wanted to buy it, that's how much Solana. There's obviously a fee that they're going to charge because they's got to make money too. 1 cent Solana fee, and then they're charging 40 cents on the $10. So just keep in mind that there is fees there. So do it if you choose. But there's a way that you could buy Solana, put it directly in the wallet, and that's it. Now it starts running. And if you want to adjust your title, you can just click right here, change a title. You can click right here, edit agent configuration. You can come here, and you'd be able to adjust everything that we did. Maybe you want to update something, it's not working. You go here, just update agent, and it would just update the agent if you made any changes. And then if you say, yeah, again, you can click right here to also get your wallet address. And if you want, just turn it off. Again, let's turn it back on. There you go. And if we click on it, there's going to be a couple different tabs here. This will start populating as there's trades that start happening. And active is where it shows like any trade that's currently in a trade at the moment. Pending is where it shows any trade that's actually, it's just started to trade. It's just like in the middle of actually doing the trade. Then recent P&L will show your profit and loss if you lost or like made a profit or lost anything. And then trading history will show the buys and the sells on both sides. So basically combining both the buy and sell into the P&L right here. And so you get all that information all here. And again, you could edit the configurations here, just right here. Or you could just turn off your agent. Maybe you don't want it to run at night. You turn it off and you make your money during the day. And that's it. This is how, like, the beginning of a Stacker agent. And again, it's early private beta. So if you do want to have access to that, there is a way. So you have to go grab a Gary Club Stacker. You can get that on Magic Eden. You could own a Draft and 1,000 Gary. But it doesn't say 1,000 Gary. Maybe they changed that. I'm not sure. No, it is 1,000 Gary. Sorry. Own an OG Draft right now. Sorry. You can own an OG Draft, which is, there's 90 of them, and they're in the collection. They have a white background. It's kind of like what I have on my my profile here. Sorry, OG Draft. And then, or you could be a whale, which means that you have 25 assets in the community. Like it could be the Draft, or there's other things that, or you could have 10 million Draftfish. So there's really 3 ways that you can get access at the moment. It's awesome. And then there's also a big thing about this is like this. If you believe in this token, Gary, half of the fees are going back to buying back buy back Gary. And then that goes into like their vaults. So they're basically building up their bag in Gary, but they're doing it by taking the fees in Solana and then buying them back in Gary. So yeah, this is just, go check out the Stacker Agent. Again, it is an early private beta, and it's really exciting that it's happening. It's here, and we're all very excited for it. Over the next couple months, there's going to be a lot more that's being released with it, and there's more. There's a lot more different block zero, scalp trading, swing trading locked in, and there's going to be a perp trader coming as well. So definitely dive into those. So again, today we went over like 5 different ways that you can make passive income with DeFi. The one is like, I don't log back in, but play to earn games like addicted.fun, where we're like earning our like weed and selling it. And again, just a lot of different play to earn games. Then also liquidity pools. This is actually like special. I showed you. Actually, there was actually one more that I was going to quickly show you real quick before I wrap it up. But I was like, so liquidity pools was one of them. And then there was lending out Solana and using NFTs as collateral. Then we talked about using things like Stacker Agent. And you could like liquidate all of that through Cash Card, spend it like money. And then the last one I just wanted to dive in real quick because it's a super easy one, is Jupiter Lend. There's a bunch of different lending protocols. I just really like the Jupiter Lend when it's clean, it's easy, and you're getting good returns. We were talking about how you can kind of get kind of stable returns from USDC. Well, you could do the same thing with something like Jupiter Lend, because right here, look, USDC 8.71% right now is what it's earning. Your dollars, put them in USDC. Just let them sit here, earn you interest, and when you're ready to spend it, you go throw it in your Cash Card, and you're going to be able to instantly spend it and pay your bills in real life. And they have different ways you could just lend out the token, and people could borrow it. Or you can come here and hit borrow, and say you have Solana, and you want to actually lend it out and then get some USDC from it. You could take like Solana and get USDC, but still earn a little bit in the middle, because see, for lending out your Solana, you're going to earn 7.9%, but to borrow the USDC, you're going to have to pay 6.4%. So you're still going to be earning, about 1.5% in the middle of that trade. So that could fluctuate, but this is another really good way to earn passive income. Just super stable. Like you're going to be earning more. Like there's a lot of like high risk funds that promise that amount and they don't actually even deliver. So great. Like these are all amazing ways to make passive income in DeFi. So again, thanks for hanging out with me. My name is Dunk. Again, go and grab my guide over at DeFiEarner.com. I'm always just sending out information there to try and help you make more money passively with DeFi. If I ever have any opportunity, I share it out there. And I just love helping other people make passive income because I think that's our way to time freedom, our stop trading our time for money. It's really great. So again, thanks for hanging out with me. My name is Dunk. Keep creating, keep earning passive income, and I will see everybody in the next video. Take care. Bye.